right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Seclusion rooms. The I-Team has uncovered how they're used to discipline Missouri students. Tonight, the calls to expel them from schools.
Weather first, Doppler radar shows showers heading our way tonight. Why this round of rain is not a concern for Tuesday morning's rush hour.
Our top story, 2 men dead after separate encounters with police in St. Charles County. Tonight, new details on what led officers to open fire.
I'm sure they were left with no alternative.
Those 2 shootings happened within miles and hours of each other. In both cases, police say the men were armed. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We start tonight with new details into the deadly shooting that rattled a typically quiet Lake St. Louis neighborhood. It happened last night on Fox Bridge Court. Our Robert Townsend joins us now from our newsroom with new information from police. Robert.
Mike, tonight I talked to the police chief for the Lake St. Louis Police Department about the shooting that involved several of his officers and 1 man. On Monday, Boulevard Park in Lake St. Louis was once again typically quiet. But Sunday morning, officers went there after a couple of callers reported a man fired at least 8 gunshots into the ground at the St. Charles County Park. Chief Chris D. Giuseppe says by the time officers arrived, the suspect, 27-year-old Wesley Ingram, was gone.
And they located some shell casings up there, and subsequently throughout the day continued to investigate.
Hours later, police used surveillance video and tracked Ingram down at his home on Fox Bridge Court.
We located him on a porch. The subject came out of the residence with 2 handguns, had one tucked in his belt.
Officers tried to disarm the man.
As officers approached him, he reached for one of the handguns. A struggle ensued.
The chief says officers tased Ingram, but he kept fighting with officers and waving a gun at them.
He continued to attempt to point the handguns at officers. One of our officers fired. He was wounded.
Police rendered aid to Ingram in an ambulance, but he later died at a hospital. A police officer who has 12 years experience with the Lake St. Louis Police Department suffered a minor hand injury. The officer was treated and released from the hospital. Police say the suspect lived at the home with his mother. They also say 2 bullets he fired hit the walls of the porch.
We believe the subject suffers from some mental illness, and I believe that we've had other contacts with him.
The officer who shot the man is now on routine paid administrative leave. Now, the St. Charles County Regional Critical Incident Response Team is now investigating the shooting. Lake St. Louis Police will also conduct an internal investigation.
And just hours before in O'Fallon, Missouri, an officer-involved shootout left a gunman dead. Today, police identified 34-year-old Douglas Allen Phipps as the suspect who fired shots at O'Fallon City Hall's clock tower. That led to a chase that ended in a nearby neighborhood. Neighbors in the Royal Oaks subdivision tell us they heard at least 8 to 15 gunshots. A mother says she was outside with her kids putting up Christmas lights when she saw what was happening.
My kids were out here, so I told them, I said, go inside, lock the doors because it's a dead-end street. If anything happens, he's going to possibly flee on foot.
Police say Phipps was carrying a shotgun and pointed it at officers. No officers were hurt in the exchange of gunfire. That incident is still under investigation.
Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating the death of a 2-year-old boy as a homicide. The child died Friday, about 45 minutes after he was brought to SSM Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Police say the boy was unresponsive and had bruising to his stomach. His cause of death was ruled as blunt force trauma. Police have not shared the circumstances behind the boy's injuries, but they are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. It's an anonymous tip line, 866-371-TIPS.
Well, a chilly night across St. Louis. There's another chance of rain overnight, so let's get the latest now from Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell.
Well, pretty confident, Mike, we won't wake up to the sound of rumbling thunder during the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning. This is a quick hitting system. Many of us won't even see a drop of rain out of it, but the Weather First Doppler radar is showing some rain right now to our north. Not all of it is reaching the ground, but some of it certainly is. Better chances as you go north of Bowling Green here. Once you get back into mid-Missouri, as we get along Interstate 70, the chances tend to be drying out, a little bit of drier air in the upper levels of the atmosphere that this thing's fighting. It's a quick mover here, so this is not going to be something that lingers right into tomorrow morning's rush hour. It's still 42 in St. Louis, well above freezing. Winds out of the south at 6. That'll change as the system passes through, and the winds will swing around to the northwest tomorrow, get gusty, and reinforce the cool air. This is a fast-moving system tonight. It's just a quick hit of rain showers for some, not everybody, and then dry Wednesday through Thursday, turning warmer, and then we get into an unsettled weekend. More on that in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. Just 2 hours ago, water service was restored along Belleville's Main Street after a water main break this morning, but a boil order is in place. New tonight, Laura Barcheski talked with several impacted businesses.
This morning, Circa boutique owner Andrea Powell got an unexpected call from a coworker just before lunch.
And she was like, I don't even know how to say this, but I think the store's gonna flood. And I was like, what?
Water was gushing up through the pavement, turning Main Street into a river. Luckily, it didn't make it inside the store, but they had to close for the day after the power went out.
We can wash our hands and do things, you know, a couple doors down. That's not really a problem. But as far as power, that's a bummer. Nobody wants to try on clothes when it's like 45 degrees in a shop.
Luckily, the power is back on, and the community has been very supportive of affected businesses with the holiday season in full swing.
Shutting down, and we don't take that lightly for the day, even if it's for a few hours. We do have an online store.
Crews here on Main Street who are repairing the water main break say because of that, they're concerned about how stable the sidewalk is as well as the street and want people to avoid the area as much as possible until it's fixed. Those who are headed to businesses like Benny's Pizza Pub will have to find their way around the block. The owner says they jumped into action just in time.
We shut off any equipment that handles tap water, so there would be no contamination in those that machinery. And then we got fresh water bottles, soda cans, things like that.
Unfortunately, this might not be the last time people in the area have to go through this.
And I know our infrastructure on these streets with these old pipes are in pretty bad shape, so it is a matter of time before we have more.
Reporting in Belleville, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Illinois American Water says affected customers need to boil any water used for cooking or drinking, bringing it to a full rolling boil before using it.
Breaking tonight in Arlington, Virginia, where a home exploded after police say a man inside fired a flare gun. Officers were trying to execute a search warrant at the time. Right now, that man has not been located. Firefighters are still trying to put the fire out. No officers, we're told, were seriously hurt.
Tonight, the SIU Carbondale campus is mourning 2 students killed in a head-on crash. The young men were only 18 and 19 years old. The crash happened just before 8 this morning, about a mile from campus. The other driver suffered serious injuries. Both students were from the Chicago area studying automotive technology.
Tonight, a Missouri lawmaker wants to ban a controversial discipline tactic used in some schools.
Our I-team has investigated the use of seclusion rooms for years. Last year, Missouri students were sent to these rooms 8,000 times. And now a state representative tells Christine Byers it's time for them to be stopped.
10 states in the U.S., including Illinois, ban seclusion rooms in schools. State Representative Ian Mackey wants to make Missouri the 11th. The bill he filed Friday would stop the use of seclusion rooms in public or charter schools. In these small closet-sized rooms, students are placed in solitary confinement as a form of punishment. The IVE team found 530 students have been put in one of these rooms at least once in 166 districts in Missouri this school year alone. The Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education says seclusion and restraint should be limited, only used when a student's behavior represents a serious threat. The ACLU says nationwide, roughly 80% of students who were secluded had disabilities. Mackey filed a bill in 2021 which limited the use of seclusion rooms and required districts to report their use. Now he says it's time to ban them altogether because it doesn't fix behavioral problems in students.
it makes the problem worse. We see it happen on a repeat basis, the same kids over and over and over going through this, because this is not a way to deal. This is not a way for an adult to solicit the behavior they're looking for.
And is there any research at all that's been done about the effects of these rooms?
Children have been severely injured because of this. Children who've been diagnosed with PTSD as a result of this. Children who've been forced out of their school district because of this.
The U.S. Department of Education says restraint or seclusion should never be used as punishment or discipline. Mackey says he hopes his bill moves forward quickly when the legislative session begins in January. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
And to see our previous coverage on seclusion rooms, go to KSDK.com. If you have a tip for Christine and the 5 on your side I-Team, you can leave a voice message. The number's 314-444-5231, or you can also email Christine. It's tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Tonight, Mizzou fans are trying to get their hands on a golden ticket, seats to the Cotton Bowl. The university allotment of tickets sold out less than 24 hours after learning the Tigers would be playing Ohio State in one of the New Year's 6 bowl games. A large contingent of fans are planning a trip to Texas to cheer on the black and gold.
The Alumni Association is really all kind of about the fan events and activities that go on. So everything from maybe a bowl tour, which we have, to all the events like tailgates and maybe pep rallies that happen at the bowl site.
500 student tickets will be made available tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tickets are also available through Ticketmaster and StubHub.
Tonight, new clues in a mystery illness plaguing dogs.
There's probably more that we don't know than what we know, which is frustrating.
The signs to look for and how to protect your family pet. Ruby Lee live. Tonight, her fate on The Voice is now in your hands. We're at her hometown hideout where fans cheered her on.
After the overnight rain chance slides away, the Weather First team tracking what looks to be a pretty big weather system for the weekend. A heads up as you make your weekend plans.
New fears for Palestinians tonight as the Israeli military expands its ground assault against Hamas to all of the Gaza Strip. Today, Israel ordered tens of thousands of Gazans to move even farther south. They're moving along the Egyptian border, which is now overcrowded and filthy. The chief of staff of the Israeli military says the operations in southern Gaza will be just as intense as what northern Gaza has seen.
It's a respiratory illness that still doesn't have a name, but it's making pets sick across the country, and scientists are working hard to clue in on a specific cause. A number of dog breeds have been affected, and the symptoms are similar to kennel cough, but the symptoms don't diminish with kennel cough treatment. An online database found pet parents are reporting suspected cases in 37 states, including Missouri and Illinois, with at least a dozen deaths. Researchers say a spread of the virus could be a new pathogen, low vaccination rates, or lower immunity levels after pandemic isolation. There are a few symptoms, though, to look out for.
Something like discharge with the eye, a soft cough, like actually just what he just did.
There are some things pet parents can do to be proactive. Make sure your dog is up to date on all recommended vaccines. Try to keep your dog away from other dogs as much as possible. If you do board your dog, look for signs of sickness, including a persistent cough, trouble breathing, or extreme fatigue. And if you see those signs, call your vet.
A consumer alert tonight from genetic testing company 23andMe. The company is revealing 7 million customers may have been affected by a recent data hack. That's far more than previously reported. The customers affected were enrolled in its DNA Relatives program. It uses a user's privacy restrictions to allow better connections with distant relatives. The company says hackers gain access to accounts through reused passwords. Tonight, for the first time, Ruby Lee performed live on national television as the live rounds got underway on NBC's The Voice.
The 16-year-old yodeling sensation from Foley, Missouri, is vying for one of the 9 spots in next week's semifinals.
And you can help her get there. New tonight, our Annie Krall shows us the support she's getting from Ruby's favorite hideout in Cottleville.
16-year-old Ruby Lee is fighting for Team Reba McEntire on this season of The Voice, singing her coach and mentor's country ballad.
Every time she comes on, she's crowd pleaser.
When Ruby was here at JP's a couple weeks ago, we felt so honored. Ruby shared with us that Reba calls her on the telephone and actually has normal conversations with her.
JP's Hideout in Cottleville hosting another watch party Monday night to support the Foley, Missouri native.
Well, I actually had to look up where Foley, Missouri was, and it's teeny tiny. But I did learn about it, and they're just great people.
This is the first live performance where America votes to decide who goes through to the next round. While everyone here at JP's Hideout was waiting for Ruby Lee to perform her challenging song on The Voice, I was able to speak with her just hours backstage before her performance in Los Angeles on Monday night.
It's actually a very difficult song. I did a rehearsal with Reba, and she was just like, I helped pick this song because I know that you'd be able to sing it. It's like such a hard song to sing. I was like, thanks, Reba.
The best thing you can do is connect with the person when you're singing. You definitely do it. Gwen and I are balling. We're balling. Ready to go. Loved it.
Monday's top 12 performers will go down to 8 after America's vote. The 4 musicians with the lowest votes will face off Tuesday, hoping for the competition's one instant save to advance to the semifinals. Reporting in Cottleville, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
There are 2 ways you can vote on the Voice website and app. You can vote once on each platform, and we have more information in the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. And we'll find out if Ruby moves on. That's tomorrow night at 7 right here on 5 on Your Side.
She's so composed, too.
And just such a talent for a 16-year-old, for any age, actually.
I know, she really is.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that weather first forecast and a warm-up later this week.
Yeah, later this week's going to feel a whole lot different, and then comes the weekend and all kinds of changes happening this weekend. Right now, most of us are in the 30s to around 40 once you get away from town. There are a couple of spots like DeSoto where it's already down to 32 degrees. Salem's 31, but we have a pretty good amount of cloud cover around St. Louis. And to the north and west, our weather first Doppler radar showing some showers here. Not all of this is reaching the ground. There is some dry air that we're dealing with, but this is a really fast-moving weather system zipping through here tonight. And what it does, it brings some of us some rain, especially along the north of 70. The farther south you go, the less likely you are to see any rain. And it reinforces the cool air already in place. So our temperatures tomorrow will be seasonable, but still kind of cool from where we were on Sunday. Temperatures overnight dropping back to the mid to upper 30s. Any rain long gone. Watch this weather first futurecast sliding in with a few scattered showers here, and then by tomorrow morning's rush hour, everything is farther to the east, almost out of eastern portions of Illinois. We will have some more clouds tomorrow. It's chilly, it's breezy. In fact, tomorrow afternoon there could be a spritz or maybe even a flurry with gusty winds that turn more to the northwest through the day and could gust to about 25 miles per hour. So that northwest wind adding a bit of an extra chill to the situation for tomorrow. Now, Wednesday should be much brighter. Wednesday and Thursday are quiet days. What we're watching is this disturbance coming into the Aleutian Islands right now. That little disturbance doesn't look all that impressive right now, but as it interacts with what's going on out west, we'll pull our attention to this weather system that it will cause to develop across parts of Oklahoma or Texas. And then the question becomes, where does that storm system go? Right now, we're thinking it's pretty close to St. Louis and far enough north and west where most of it would be rain in St. Louis. We don't have cold air in place. In fact, Thursday and Friday, temperatures are in the 60s here. So we have to squeeze that out and wrap cold air back around in this storm system, and it's highly unlikely we'd be able to get a lot of snow out of it. Now, if that changes, we'll let you know. But at this point, maybe the tail end of it Saturday night into Sunday morning has a few wet snowflakes mixing in, but that would be about it. You're breezy as we head through tomorrow. Lots of clouds, then plenty of sunshine Wednesday and Thursday. Look at that warm up as we head to Thursday. Hanukkah begins Thursday evening. It'll be in the lower 60s. Wow. 63 on Friday. By Saturday and Sunday, really Friday night late into Saturday and Sunday, that's when we're going to get that big push.
Frank Cusimano is planning to play golf on the first day of Hanukkah.
I think he should.
I think he should, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Scott. Frank.
It really brings in the Hanukkah season. Great news for Mizzou, bad news for Ohio State. Hit and run with Benji Molina, and we're going to show you the son of a great player who is following in his father's footsteps in basketball.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights are the biggest team in the NHL, and the Stanley Cup champions are quite possibly the best also. The Blues had some good moments early. Jordan Binnington, will you look at this glove save one more time in slow motion? This is what you call hand-eye coordination. And late in the first, Colton Parayko unleashes, Alexei Toropchenko deflects it, and right now the Blues lead it 1-0 in the second period. Eli Drinkwitz was named the SEC Coach of the Year. The national stage will bring out his wisecracking personality, like yesterday on ESPN when he brought up the name of the coach for Michigan who infamously videotaped the signals of the opposition.
Well, hey guys, I got a quick phone call. Connor Stallion's beeping in right here. I'm trying to get a few signals here, so I gotta go. But as soon as we get done, look forward to competing against Ryan Day, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Mizzou had 5 who made first-team All-SEC: Cody Schrader, Luther Burden, Javon Foster, Darius Robinson, and Chris Abrams-Drain. And more congratulations for Cody. Tonight he wins the Bolesworth Trophy for the best walk-on football player in America. Why not? He led the country in rushing yards per game. Ohio State won't have their quarterback for the Cotton Bowl. That's because this morning Kyle McCord entered the transfer portal. He threw 24 touchdowns. More Buckeyes may be opting out. Hey, take a look at one of our greats from the past, Jahidi White, Cardinal Ritter, Georgetown, and an 8-year NBA career. And he was watching his son, Jahidi Jr., the 6'8 sophomore, pulls a Harry Chapin and says, "I'm going to be like you, Dad. This kid will be a force." Shot of the night, Michael Rachel at the end of the quarter. Chaminade is loaded. They beat Granite City 85-56. So the winter meetings have begun in Nashville. John Mozeliak indicated a trade of Tyler O'Neill could happen soon. And Yadier Molina talks continue about joining the organization. But tonight we're playing hit and run with Yadi's brother, the 2-time Gold Glover, Benji Molina. Explain why you're so talkative and Yadi's not.
Oh, I think it's a shy kind of thing. It's a shy insider Yadi that. Plus, also, he's very humble. He hates talking about himself.
True or false? You did beat him up as a kid.
No.
Never?
No.
You're
I get that question a lot. Did you guys fight? And we never fought. Never. And I cannot remember one time that we did, other than when we were playing PlayStation or Nintendo.
At what age did you know that Yadi was going to be better than you?
Oh my goodness, what age, huh? As soon as I saw the products in pro baseball, which was like 17.
And he was how
16. Old? He was probably 10.
You knew he was going to be better when he was 10?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. He was coming. He was in the making.
If you and Yadi, when you're both in the big leagues, line up to run a race, who wins?
Oh, I think my mom pregnant will beat us.
Who's the one pitcher you just didn't want to face?
Tim Hudson. It wasn't scary, but it's because he got me out all the time with that sinker 95, 96.
What if you saw a hitter peeking at your signs to your pitcher? What would you do?
Oh man, all you have to do is stand up, right, go to his face and say, "Stop it, you don't do that anymore." Or you let it go by and then the pitcher will take care of it.
What famous person were you surprised they know who I am?
Kurt Warner was one of them, that he knew who I was.
Why are you never in a bad mood?
I think it's a waste of time being in a bad mood or not smiling or not being nice to people.
Now that is an answer we can all live by.
For
He's
sure.
always like that.
He's such a great outlook on life.
He's the best. Yep.
Thank you, Frank.
All right.
Well, there's no place like home for the holidays. How college students can get there for $25 no matter how far away they roam.
Let's
2 weeks ago, we still have a little more than 2,100 Little Wishes to grant for area kids impacted by foster care. Once again, Five on Your Side has teamed up with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition. Just head to ksdk.com/Little Wishes to buy a gift. The campaign ends December 20th.
Amazon is making it more affordable for college students to go home for the holidays. Starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. St. Louis time, Student Prime members can book domestic flights for just $25. 1,000 flights will be offered daily for the next 3 days.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop.
We all know that song. Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree has hit #1 on Billboard's Hot 100, 65 years after the classic holiday tune was first released. It has unseated Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Lee, who turns 79 next week, becomes the oldest artist ever to top the Hot 100.
You gonna sing a few bars?
I'll reserve that. I'll let her do it.
She can sing, I'm
yes,
telling you.
She does.
One final check of the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's keeping her feet on the ground and reaching for the stars
Right.
here,
Yes,
hitting
she
#1.
is.
Casey.
Yeah, we've got a couple of spot showers here during the overnight hours, long gone by tomorrow morning's rush.
There you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today at St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.